Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Lucky Sevens by Riffclown. So this is just a pure killer, and also this is, by tradition, Riffclown does, this is puzzle number 1051. Riffclown always does the 1 and 51 endings, and so we are continuing that tradition. I try to do every 50, but oftentimes I just don't have time to set a puzzle, so I end up not doing it. So I didn't do it yesterday. But anyway, Happy New Year. Happy puzzle 1051, and we're continuing our tradition. This is a pure killer, so what does that mean? Well, in each row, column, and 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6, exactly once each. We also have these killer cages in the grid. The way these work is the cage is just the dotted lines around these cells, and the clue in the top left is the sum. So these two sum to 7, these three sum to 7, these two sum to 7. Notice all the sums in this puzzle are 7. That's not required for killer cages, but that's just something Riffclown decided to do. All right, and that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. All right, so 7 and 3 is something that is definitely good to just memorize, but you can also figure it out. So let me show you how you would think about this and come up with the same conclusion, that the only possible sum is 1, 2, 4. So the first thing you can think about is, well, 7 is pretty low for 3 cells. Why do I know that? Well, 1 plus 2 plus 3 would be the absolute minimum I could put in here because I can't repeat any digits. And so 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. And so our sum is very close to 6. It's not 6, so it's not going to be 1, 2, 3, but it's only 1 away. So what we need to do is we need to add 1 to this sum somehow. Well, can I add 1 to the 1? No, because then I would be 2, 2, 3, and that would repeat a digit. Can I add 1 to the 2? No, because then that would be 1, 3, 1, 3, 3, which does add to 7, but it repeats the 3. So the only thing I can do is add 1 to the 3, giving me 1, 2, 4. And that's going to be the only way to sum that way. And that's always going to be true. If you're 1 off from the minimum or 1 off from the maximum sum, there's still only going to be one way to do it because you have to change that extreme digit. All right. And so that's 1, 2, 4, and this is 1, 2, 4. And what we can do is just pencil the 3, 5, 6 here. So we can actually see that this sees 5 and 6, so it's a 3. This sees the 5 still, so that's 6 and that's 5. This 6 looks in, making that 6, that's 3, and that's 5. All right. So we're given a bunch of digits right away. 5 plus 2 is 7, so that's not a 2. This is 1 or 4. So 1 would be 1 plus 6 to get to 7. 4 would be 4 plus 3 to get to 7. And then also what we have here is a 1, 2, 4 triple. I want to talk, we could fill this one, but let's just talk about this for a second. Before you think about the column, the rest of the column for the triple, one thing that's really handy to notice when you notice this triple is that the 2 isn't here. The 2 has to be in one of these two. And so it's kind of like a claiming triple where one of these has to be a 2, but it's not going to be this one. So the 2 is going to be here or here. And that claims the box, telling us this can't be a 2. So we can eliminate that 2 first before you forget. The rest of the column is 3, 5, 6. That's not a 6. Now, of course, we do have this 6 here, making this a 1. So that's not 1. This is 2 or 4, and that makes another 1, 2, 4. The 1 is up here, so that's not a 1. And then the rest of the column is 3, 5, 6. That's not a 5. Now, how are we adding 2, 7 here? It's not 1 plus 6. It's not 2 plus 5, so it has to be 3 plus 4. This 3 tells us that's 4 and 3. That gives us the 1, 2, and 4 here. This is 2 and 6. This is 2. These are not 6. This is a 1 plus 6 now. That's not 6. Up here we get the 4 and the 1. Here, this, again, we don't have 1 or 2, so this has to be 3 plus 4. The 3 looks up. That's 4 and 3. That's 5 and 3. 5 and 3. Okay, so what's left here is 2, 5. So if the 5 tells us the order, that's 2, that's 5. What's left here is 1, 4, which we don't have resolution for yet. Here is 2, 4. So this is 4 and 2, 1 and 4. And then we're left with the 1 and the 6. All right. Nice introduction to how to think about killer sums. It solves very cleanly. Normally 7 and 2 is an annoying sum because there's 3 different ways to do it, and it involves all of 6 digits. But this did solve quite cleanly just from having these here and then the givens really restricting what happens to the outies here. All right, well, let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.